All right, now let's talk about special functions. So here we see step functions, and there's two main types of step functions we'll deal with. One is greatest integer, and the other one is least integer, and we'll see those a little bit more later on, or maybe touch on them a little bit more when we talk about transformations. So we know about the constant function, right? Horizontal line, which is y equals b, whatever the y-intercept is, or you can think of f of x equals b. And remember, a vertical line would be x equals a constant, right? X equals a constant. All right. And the absolute value function, so that would be f of x equals the absolute value of x. That ends up looking like a v, right? And so, and that's, yeah, let me stop for a second there. So piecewise function is where you have different functions combined together. Okay, so different rays, segments, curves, it says here. And so you have kind of a function that's pieced together. So it may be part linear, part quadratic, part cubic, or it could be you see here a horizontal, upward sloping, downward, or actually both those are upward sloping. So, but anyway, but they're different lines with different slopes. And so you can kind of put them all together. Okay, so what I was going to say earlier about absolute value function is it can also be written as a piecewise function where you have, one part of it is this upward sloping line and the other part of it is this downward sloping line. All right, so let's see how a piecewise function works. So here we have f of x equals, and so this is kind of what you'll see with a piecewise function is you'll see this brace, and then you'll see multiple functions inside here. So here we have two functions. So this is a two-piece function, and you could have 3 pieces, 4 pieces, etc. Right? So, but generally in a piecewise function you have 2 or more, right? So here I have the graph x plus 2, and it says if x is less than or equal to -2, right? And then it says 3x if x is greater than -2. So basically at -2 here, I have a split, right? Or that's where the separation is. So I'm going to kind of just draw a little dotted line here. And I'm going to graph both these lines from that point. So I'll start with x plus 2. So x plus 2, that has a slope of 1 and a y-intercept of 2. So I'm going to start at 2 on the y-axis, okay, and then it has a slope of, so the slope is 1, so I can either go up 1 over 1, right, or I can go down 1 left 1, right, either way. And either way we're going to get this line that goes like this, and then I'm going to start drawing it from here because this is where it really is going to come into play, right, is when x is less than or equal to 2. Now since it's or equal to, that means I'm going to have a closed circle at that point, right, on the x-intercept. It happens to be, right, that was just kind of a coincidence, but it happens to be on the x-intercept. So I'm going to erase all this other stuff. Okay, so because remember it's only when x is less than or equal to -2, so I don't want to see this graph anywhere on this side over here, okay, only on the left side of -2. So now I'm going to graph 3x when x is greater than -2. So now I'm thinking the y-intercept is 0, so there's a closed circle right here, right, or a point right there, and then the slope is 3, so I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1, so 3 over 1, right? So the other point's going to be right here, so I can trace this one out, okay, and if it wasn't a piecewise function, it would keep going that way, but I'm going to erase all that because it stops here. And then since it's or equal to, or since it's not or equal to, I'm going to make a closed circle, or excuse me, open circle there. All right. So open circle here, close circle here. All right, and that's basically what a piecewise function looks like. So basically just graph each piece from the points that it mentions, and then make sure you use your open and close circle skills as far as remembering that or equals to make closed circles, and if it's just a less than or greater than, then it's going to be an open circle.